Hi everybody, welcome to my new video for beginners. Today we're going to draw this skyscraper using three-point perspective and learn what exactly three-point perspective is. I'm sure you'll like it. Here we go. I start by drawing the horizon line. The horizon line is a straight line drawn parallel to the top and bottom edges of the paper. But where should it be drawn on the paper? It depends on where you are looking at the object. Since I am drawing the skyscraper from above, I drew the horizon line close to the top edge. Okay, so those are the two vanishing points that we're going to use in this drawing. Where's the third one going to be? Okay, the third one will be right here. The third vanishing point should always be between the other two vanishing points, but either above or below them, just as you see on the screen. Well, up to now we applied two important rules of perspective, the horizon line and the vanishing points. Without them, you can't draw in three-point perspective. The vertical line drawn on the paper will be the corner of the skyscraper closest to us. This corner starts from the vanishing point at the bottom, but there should be an endpoint above, right? Let's mark this endpoint. As I said, this line will be the corner of the skyscraper. As you can see, the height of the skyscraper is now clear. As a rule of thumb, in three-point perspective, you should draw a line from each point to the three vanishing points. Let me show you what I mean. Starting from this point, I need to draw lines towards the vanishing points. Okay then, let's draw the lines. I don't draw a line through the vanishing point at the bottom because we've already done that. The next step is to mark the right and left width of the building. That's it. Now let's draw the top of the building. I want you to watch carefully. Did you get it? Okay, we finished the top of the building. Now let's finish the sides of the building. Good. Now we have completed the form of our building according to the rules of three-point perspective. As I said earlier, there should be three lines from each point to the three vanishing points. Let's check it out. When we look at this point, yes, there are lines towards the three vanishing points. What about this? Yes, there are lines towards the vanishing points. And this point. There are lines towards the vanishing points, but we ignore this line because it's behind the building, so it's out of our line of sight. Thus, we didn't even draw it. I think you got the rule. My dear friends, believe it or not, we can say that we have completed half of the drawing, because drawing this form of the building was the most difficult part. The following parts are much easier. Let's continue. It would be nice to add two friends to the building. It seemed very lonely to me. When I draw these two buildings, I'm going to apply the same rules of perspective that I applied to the previous building. I want you to watch carefully. If you have difficulty drawing straight lines, you can get help from a ruler. That's it. If you didn't get it, please watch it carefully once more. You can check whether or not the corners of new buildings have lines towards the vanishing points. Now I'm going to add a small structure to the top of the building. First, I draw a line. Then I draw straight lines from the top and bottom of this line to the two vanishing points. I mark the end point of the structure. Then I draw a line from that point to the vanishing point at the bottom. I do the same for this side. That's it. Notice that I always connect each object with 3 vanishing points. Now I'm going to add a detail here, something like a wall. The rules of perspective are still in play. Let me clarify the lines a little bit. Good. It looks better. Now I'm going to add something like a frame to the sides of the building. The windows of the building will be inside of them. I continue to apply the rules of 3-point perspective when drawing frames. When drawing my lines, I use all 3 vanishing points. Our goal in this video is not to draw a perfect drawing. The main goal is to show you the logic of 3-point perspective. Therefore, your main focus should be on how to apply the rules of 3-point perspective, not the perfection of lines or shapes. When you are sketching about perspective, don't try too hard to make your drawing perfect. Just focus on the perspective. Now it's time for windows. First, I mark the center of the top edge of the frame. Then I draw a line down to the vanishing point at the bottom. In this way, I divide the frame in 2. Let's divide the right side piece in 2. And the other one. As you see, when I divide the frame, I don't use a ruler or anything else. This is a tip I'll give you. If you want to divide something into pieces, first divide it in half. Then divide the halved pieces in half. Then divide them in half. Keep doing this. It's much easier and faster. When sketching, do not draw hard and dark lines. If you make a mistake, it will be difficult to correct it. Make soft and light touches that you can see. At the end of your drawing, you can give these lines the darkness they need. Okay, now it's time to divide the windows horizontally. To divide the windows vertically, I use the vanishing point at the bottom. But to divide them horizontally, I'll use the vanishing points on the left and right. Here we need to talk about an important perspective rule. Objects get smaller as they move away from us. According to this rule, windows should get smaller as they move away from us. Therefore, when drawing the lines, you should gradually reduce the height of the windows. The distance between the lines should never be the same. Don't bother too much with the details of objects that are far away from you. A few light touches are enough. As I just said, if you have trouble drawing straight lines, you can use a ruler. I don't hesitate to use one when I need it. Sometimes our eyes deceive us by making a line appear straight when it isn't actually straight. I'm trying to be as quick as possible not to take up too much of your time. I know time is very important nowadays. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I hope you find it worth your time. Okay, I think it's looked good. I am going to add a few minor details to this build. In all steps of drawing, I keep the rules of perspective in mind and I apply them. Now I'm using a 0.5B pencil to add the fine details. It would be nice to add some details to the top of the building, because I don't have the chance to add details to the rest of the building. Every detail I add to the top helps the drawing to be more realistic. I think it's okay. What do you think? Well, now that we're done with perspective, it's time to add some shading and detail. Since the purpose of this video is to show you how to draw in three-point perspective, I will not give information about light and shadow. But I will quickly show you the shading to give you an idea. The subject of light and shadow is completely different from perspective and has its own rules and tips. So light and shadow deserve a video in itself. An important tip I can give about light and shadow is to always shade from light to dark. Lightly shade your drawing first and gradually darken your shading. Start shading using 2B or 3B soft pencils. Use 4B or 5B pencils for the darker areas towards the end of your work. It would be better if your touches were soft at the beginning and gradually turned into harder strokes. In short, the shading should go from soft to hard and from light to dark. Let's go back to our skyscraper. As you can see, I use a 0.5B pencil for fine details and places that need to look sharp. With each stroke of the pencil, the building becomes more realistic. You've probably seen these types of building drawings in Marvel comics or Marvel movies, right? They all look better with three-point perspective. Maybe you'll also create some great comics and animations in the future. Who knows? Well, that's it. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe for more perspective drawing tutorials. Have a great day. Bye.